All right, here we are. All right, welcome to Tax Day. This is, of course, a meeting of the Zeitgeist New Jersey chapter, right? But we've invited a lot of people. So I just want to do a little talk to get us started, and then we're going to start some speeches, okay? We're online, and this will be edited into something for YouTube, okay? So what we do here today will have a life of other people seeing it. Okay, so why an emphasis on tax day? This year it's an unconventional date. Sunday was the 15th, so the government didn't want to do it on Sunday, and then Monday was a holiday in some areas of the country. And so the 17th, here we are, Tuesday the 17th, an awkward day for a town hall meeting. It's a weekday, it's at 5:30, so it's right after work. It's only 2 hours, so if it's a long drive for you, is it really worth it for me to come down? The library's got to close, so it could only be 2 hours. But still, we had to have it on this day because this is the day that fairness can be measured.
And here at the library to show how fair.
In an economic system, fairness has to be measured because in a monetary system, things are unfair. When everyone is out for themselves chasing that dollar, things are unfair. Zeitgeist wants to say that this is inherent in the system, and the way to achieve true fairness is to abandon a system where everyone is out for themselves and embrace a system where everyone is out for everyone. A resource-based economy, applying the scientific method to social concern, respecting the earth and human health. I was just listening to a show called Housing Notebook on WBAI, and it reminded me of some facts that I had forgotten, that corporations and big banks pay low to no taxes, and that regular people pay a high percentage of taxes, and they're the people that need a few extra bucks, whereas a company maybe can spare, if they're down $1 million. Somebody, what? Come in. What's that? All right. Here come the judge. Regular people pay a higher percentage of taxes, and they're the people that need a few extra bucks, living check to check or check to no check. This resonates today, and this Buffett's law is being floated as a trial balloon now. The Occupy movements highlight economic inequality, and that is reflected in what happens on this day, tax day. The regular people pay a fair share, and even more, and the corporations simply do not pay a fair share. Welcome, please.
Thank you.
And the government works for the corporations, right? So you would think that this is the day that they would have to pay up. Reward the government for getting their back, for being in their pockets, but no. And why? The corporations don't pay off the real government treasury. The corporations paid off the individual politicians. It's cheaper. And the politicians want cash in their pockets, not the government coffers, working for us. For example, GE, the giant GE, they paid no taxes in the last 3 years, but not this year. This year, they paid 11%, okay? So now they can say, what? What's everybody talking about? We paid our taxes, right? With corporate loopholes and abatements, they get to pay 11%, not the 28% that regular people pay, according to 2010 census data. Most people pay a 28% tax rate in the end. They have to pay, the 11% is all that they have to pay legally. They filed a return. GE revenue between 2001 and 2011 was $1.66 trillion. Now that's a 10-year period, right? So it makes but if you average it out, it's $166 billion a year. And the tax rate they paid between 2001 and 2010, again as an average, was 2%. 2%. So it's all they have to pay legally. They filed a return. Even when they paid nothing for 3 years, it isn't that they broke the law, it's that the law is broken. We get austerity. and they don't pay their fair share, and they could cover it all. All the social programs, if the corporations paid a fair share, could be covered. All the austerity, program cutbacks, defunding of projects, all social programs and efforts to help the people could be funded if life was fair. But life ain't fair. Not because that's a fact of human existence, as we've all, life's not fair, it's a fact of human existence. It's not. Life isn't fair because money ain't fair. Our system isn't fair. Having an economy where everyone is in it for themselves instead of in it for all makes it unfair. Again, Zeitgeist points that out. Unfairness is inherent in the system. The way to achieve true fairness is to abandon a system where everyone's in it for themselves and embrace a system where everyone is in it for everyone. That's why I'm on board with Zeitgeist. Okay? They propose a resource-based economy. They declare all of the resources of the world to be common heritage to all of the peoples of the earth. An audit is done of all of the available and potential resources on earth. An audit is done as all of the needs of the peoples on earth, and then the two shall meet. With our level of technology today, we don't need to chase that dollar like we did in the past. We have abundance now. For years, I personally tried to conceptualize a world without money due to its inherent inequality. All I ever came up with was substitutions for money, like credit systems, or you do amount of labor and you extract, or everyone's in the army, or anything that and I spent years just thinking about it. That's another thing. I was alone in this quest. Nobody ever talked about, hey, what if there was no money? Nobody ever tried to figure out a better system, at least not in my personal circle. And I'm talking about a lot of years, so it was from a school to another school, to a job, to another job, in a church, with the family. I was alone in this quest, and nobody really wanted to talk about it, and I didn't bring it up too much because they had heard enough from me. Then the concept of this resource-based economy, it freed me from my in-the-box thinking about the entire matter. Now I'm completely on board with the concept, and this is all that the Zeitgeist movement seeks to do. Get you on board with the concept. Understanding that there is such a thing as a resource-based economy. That's all that supporting the Zeitgeist movement means, and that's all the Zeitgeist movement wants from you. A resource-based economy, applying the scientific method to social concern and respecting human health and the earth. So I urge you to go to YouTube, and YouTube Zeitgeist Addendum, and YouTube Zeitgeist Moving Forward. And it's going to do the talking for me, okay? Because it was more persuasive than me, and you'll learn what I'm talking about. Now, these are my opening remarks, and now I'd like to welcome you to Tax Day 2012. Welcome. Okay. Thank you. So first we'd like to hear from some of the Occupy movements, okay? And I'd like to invite up first Daryl Edwards. Now Daryl is, Daryl is a political organizer and activist for over 22 years, and he's paid his dues in this struggle, okay? He's a member of Occupy the Hood Trenton and the leader of the Tea Party for the Greater Trenton area. And his brilliance makes those two seemingly polar opposites gel together perfectly. Daryl, come on up.
Okay, you get the water here, or this is a mic?
You can just leave it. It's getting your beautiful picture.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Hi, I would like to thank the Zeitgeist Movement for inviting me to speak. Carl and Elliot, especially Elliot, who's been working with Occupy the Hood, and I'm here to see different ones from movements together. First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Daryl McKell Brooks.
Excuse me, Daryl.
Huh? Oh, you said Ed.
Yeah.
Daryl Ed.
Because I confused you with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. One of the things is, like I said, I've been active as well for 22 years. And I remember growing up in Trenton. And, you know, my first activism when I was, had to be 11, 12 years old, maybe 10, 11, where they was closing North Trenton Library. And they asked me to, you know, I used to go there every day after school. So the guy, I can't think, it was a nice old Italian guy. He was a beautiful guy. He asked me to come speak at the City Hall. So I remember me going as, you know, something has to be done. Why you can't close the library? Why are you closing the library? So I go there and speak, and please don't close the library, and it's wrong, and I like it there. And they closed it anyway. But one of the things, you know, well, see, they have closed the libraries around our state and other areas around the country because of the whole economic crisis that we've had and mismanaged money and spending is taking place. You know, one of the things being a part of the, you know, Tea Party and Occupy the Hood, and there's some people say, you know, Darrell, how could you be a Tea Party and Occupy the Hood? Well, one of the things that I was going through, and I saw a lot of political corruption that took place in our state. You know, we are the Soprano state. I seen the lies and the corruption, and I seen political individuals that steal money and tell lies to the youth and to the kids about change is going to happen, you know, just keep on supporting us and, you know, we'll deal with the problems. And I used to wonder how could you deal with the problems when New Jersey has 39,000 people locked up, and 85% of those are African Americans and poor people. The juvenile justice system has a range between 4,500 and 5,000 kids locked up from the ages of 13 to 17, and 85% of those are poor kids and African American. And so I used to wonder, well, wow. You know, you're talking about really going to do some changing, and the prison system is so corrupt. What's going to happen? And most of the politicians, they look at me, well, you're going to be tough on crime, but you know you're tough on poor people. You know, and here you guys are robbing the bank, lying to the people, and people are frustrated. And so when the Tea Party members, I said, well, I saw a movement. I said, wow, I like that movement. You know, they're frustrated with the whole political government. I was more frustrated with state government and city government with our former mayor, Doug Palmer, and then there was Bonnie Watson Coleman and some other ones. I was really frustrated with them. And then I was frustrated with the war that we had in America, right? I mean, the war, you know, in Iraq. And I saw, you know, the lies that were being told, you know, the weapons of mass destruction. Well, you know, people died for weapons of mass destruction. And, you know, one of the things I was managing Sbarro's Pizzeria, and this kid said, yeah, we're going to go in there and get Saddam Hussein, and, you know, he has weapons of mass destruction. And, you know, the kids were saying that, and they was all excited. And I'm like, you really need to read into this. And though I know there was 2 of them that I work with, young kids, they actually joined. I don't know where they're at, but God, hopefully they're just safe in their home. But they went to war for weapons of mass destruction. And it was a lie. And so now we have a new president. And then when you looked at the whole thing with the Wall Street in 2008 with the big crisis, and Bush played a part, Reagan played a part, Clinton played a part. I mean, and you know, so it was like, you know, well, where's this politics going? Where are we as a people? You know, it's about taking care of our people, making sure our people survive, taking care of our educational system, taking care of our jobs, taking care of our livelihood. You know, how do we grow and develop and do great things? You know, why are our young students, they can't go to college, and they have $100,000 student loans, and they can't get jobs. And now jobs are now with the signing of the NAFTA trade under Clinton, and you know, there are jobs that totally have left this country, and it's a shame. I mean, it's totally a shame. You know, when, you know, my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King, I want to say that my hero, and I try to follow in his footsteps. And one of the things that I follow in his footsteps is that I did the 40th anniversary of Selma Montgomery March. We marched 52 miles. And I've worked with